So today is my first day back working. I haven't worked in almost 2 weeks, and that's the longest break I've actually taken off of doing gig work in almost a year. So I got super sick and then we moved. So a lot of things are happening. We're still not even fully done moving, but I'm like, I have now missed almost 2 weeks of pay, and I'm like, this is also not the time for that to happen because spending so much on the moving costs, I'm like, I gotta get back to it. So today is Tuesday and I haven't worked since last Thursday. So Tuesdays are not normally a good day. Actually just driving around doing one errand first, and then we'll see what my first order is. I do have DoorDash, Uber, and Instacart going right now, especially because it is a Tuesday. I know I'm probably gonna need all that I can get in order to get good orders. Good news is, while I was taking a break from gig work from being sick and moving, I did get a good sale on eBay. I've been selling clothing and shoes mainly on eBay and Poshmark and Vestiaire for a pretty long time now, like several years. That was actually the first side hustle I ever had, and I'm still doing it now. And I've gone through so many phases with it, so I probably need to make a whole separate video about it because it's way too long of a story. But I'm at the post office right now because I did get one great shoe sale, so I will put it here in case anyone's interested. And I do actually, I have the item packed right here. I got new plates in, and this is the only tape I could find because I lost my packaging tape. Everything has been such a disaster to keep track of with moving. They don't mind getting their package in a plate box. So the package is now dropped off, and that one, it does actually have to get authenticated. So the funds are not available for that right away. It's through eBay's authenticity guarantee. So I won't actually be able to receive that payout until the item passes authentication. So the sooner they get that, the sooner I get my money, which I'm very excited for, given that I lost out on a ton of gig work earnings since I wasn't able to work since I was sick. So earlier today when I was at home, I was just logged on to Instacart at home, and I did miss a Costco order that I'm so sad I missed. I looked away from the screen for a second. Instacart is just so extremely frustrating to try to get orders because of how quick they go. It was a Costco order that flashed for a second. It was $48, so nothing like super sad to miss, but all I was able to see is it was a single customer. It was only like 5 or 6 miles, and I believe it was around 25 items total. So who knows, it could have had a bunch of water bottles or like a ton of heavy stuff on it. But from that first glance, I tried to click on it to get it because it looked really good. Wasn't able to. So we'll see where I go from here. This order, let's look at this. Did it pretty quick, but bring catering bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this out. So of course, right after I accept that DoorDash, this is a great Instacart. Honestly, if I hadn't just taken that DoorDash, I would have taken this purely because it's so easy. 8 items, 8 units, nothing heavy. It's just a really quick order I would have taken. But, oh, as you can see, someone did take it right away. It's just super quick. But back to this. So this is the order I just took from Flower Child. This is a big order. So I'm really excited for this because it said large order, bring catering bag. There's most likely a hidden tip on this. So I'm excited. This is the first order we're gonna start out with today, and let's see if we get a nice hidden tip. Okay, the order is secured. So it's 2 full bags and only 2 drinks, which I'm very thankful for because there's so much food. I was hoping there wasn't like 7 drinks. And they had to reseal the bag like 100 times, and as you can see, those stickers are still popping off. So I'm gonna have to pinch those back together when I get there. But it is only a 7-minute drive, and it is an office building. So let's see what happens when I get there. And look at that, $27. So they were hiding half of the tip. So the order was pretty much double what they said it would be. That's why anytime you see a large order or a catering order, unless it's a really bad offer on the upfront offer screen, I would take the risk on taking those because they're way more likely to have hidden tips. So I'm thrilled with that. And as I was walking out of the building, I got this Safeway order. And as I tried to click to look at the items, and it was spinning and spinning, and the order timed out. So I got really frustrated because it was a good one. Then DoorDash sent me one $5 order, and then they sent me the Safeway order back because the order timed out. So I didn't decline it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so meant to be. And I was thinking that when it timed out, I'm like, oh my God, please send it to me again, because like my connection just timed out. And yeah, this is a great one. There's nothing heavy on it, really short distance. And to get it back to back and not waste any time, I'm off to a great start, and I'm very excited for the rest of the day. I'm at the deli waiting right now, and as I was shopping, look what I just snagged. As I was shopping, I got this one. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Heavy pay. We have to look at the items. I'm a little far from the store, but yeah, super excited. I only have these 3 items. I'm at the deli now, and then this I already grabbed, and I just need that. And then we'll check out. This order is really fast. We'll see. Oh, these orders are almost the same size, so that kind of sucks because it's harder to shop for orders like that, but nothing super bad on that. There, 12 count of water, sparkling water, Essentia bottles. Really not terrible. I'm super excited. So this is the entire order. It was so easy and fast. And then there is one big case of water, but luckily it is a house. So we got that order all loaded up. It is only a 4-minute drive to the customer. I need to hurry to make sure I get to my Instacart on time. And because it's for Safeway, I could also just shop it at that store. Since I was almost done with this order, I obviously wasn't gonna shop it at the same time, but I could drive just 3 to 4 minutes back to this Safeway and shop it there if I want to, but I'm just gonna shop it for the one that it's supposed to be at, because it'll be way quicker, because all the aisles will be correct. I know both of the stores pretty well, but I just wanna get it done faster. So I am gonna drive to the location that it is set for. And this is such a good order, especially on a Tuesday. I'm so grateful because this is my first day back after taking almost 2 weeks off. And I'm just hoping for a big day. A big day today would be amazing and just motivating. So I'm an 11-minute drive from the Safeway for the Instacart batch. I've dropped off to this customer multiple times. This order I just dropped off for DoorDash. And I get their order all the time because they always tip pretty well. And they usually order small orders too, which is perfect because I usually like to take smaller orders anyway on DoorDash while I'm just waiting around for a good Instacart order. Instacart, they do try to give you repeat customers. On DoorDash, I believe they do the same thing because I do know on DoorDash when you get a shopping order, after the order is completed, it does ask you, oh, do you like this shopper or do you want this shopper to take your order again? So if they press yes on that, then I would think it does trigger the algorithm to giving that customer's order to you. These two orders are almost the same size, so it is a little bit harder to shop for these in order to like divide the basket up in a good way. But because it's only 2 shops, it's way easier. At least to me, 2 shops is so much easier than 3. So this will probably be a situation where I'll use the basket and the top of the cart for one customer, and if they have heavy items, put them on the bottom and then use the rest of the main cart for the other customer. And I would assume this is probably a situation where both customers are tipping pretty well to make up the about $50 tips, since the orders are pretty split sized. So this one will be more interesting to see at the end if it is like a 50-50 split tip, or if it's just one person who's super generous and one who's tipping more normally. So I'm more curious on this one to find out. A lot of times with these stack orders, it's very obvious because they tend to stack one big order with 1 or 2 smaller orders. So it's obvious like which order is doing the most of the tip. This one, that's not the case. And I'm just kind of curious to see if it ends up being a split situation or one heavy tipper and one light tipper. Okay, that took me a little bit longer than it usually does to shop. 30, maybe 35, probably 35 minutes. I can definitely tell that I'm a little bit rusty, like even just from taking like 12 days off. I'm already a little bit slower at shopping because I kind of got out of the habit of it. So that did take me a little bit longer than it should. And this order, even though it wasn't huge, it had a lot of bulky items. The store had actually just moved a bunch of items around, and that really slowed me down a lot. She said that they just moved all these things yesterday, and there were several aisles of just huge gaps in the aisle where they moved things, and I didn't know where it was because the aisle numbers were not correct anymore. So there's nothing you can really do about that. I was like, that was just bad timing. So there was a couple items that the aisle numbers were incorrect, and I had to kind of go looking around for where they moved them. The good thing is I did find everything that was moved. Both of these addresses are houses, so I'm very grateful for that. It's the easiest to drop off bigger orders to houses. And this second delivery, I'm almost positive I have delivered to this customer before. So I'll see when I get there, but if that's the case, then that's definitely why I got the order. Funny, because when I was accepting the order, I was in the middle of shopping for that DoorDash order, and I looked on the screen. There was no notification or anything. I was just on the screen. A first order came in and I was trying to like hide it, and that 60 was just sitting there, and I grabbed it. So I probably barely even got it in time. So I dropped that one off. I do believe that was a repeat customer, but when I got to the house, I still wasn't 100% sure if I remembered them. So that was very interesting because it was far from being an even split. So even though the orders were very similar in size, the second customer tipped the mass majority. They tipped like over $40. And then the first customer tipped like less than 10, I think. Sometimes you just don't know. Those two orders were very similar sized. The one that tipped more did have a couple heavy items, but still, it's just crazy to see like the vast difference in tip amounts. And it did actually go up to a 64 because I had a couple substitutes, and also on one of the orders, a customer added an item. So that was an amazing order to get. I kind of sat around for a little bit. I ate my lunch and took a break, and I did just get this Sprouts order. High, like crazy high paying, but amazing pay for the units since it's really low unit count. So I'm accepting that right away all day, especially because I took my lunch break and then I still waited like 20 minutes. So I'm looking for the first reasonable thing to take. This is a great one. 2 shops, 6 miles, and really low units. So we're gonna go knock this one out, and by the time I'm done with this, then things should be picking up for the dinner time shift for food deliveries. So I might be transitioning to doing more food deliveries after this batch. So the first order is dropped off. I have had that customer before, and that was the bigger order, and it was a pretty close drive. And now the second order is only 4.2 miles, but it's a 17-minute drive, which is really frustrating because I'm like, why did they even batch these 2 orders together? Because they're not in the same direction. And it's frustrating because this second order is the one with 3 items, and it's gonna have almost no tip. So we know how that goes by now, especially because this is like during the rush hour traffic. That's why it's gonna take 17 minutes just to get to this second address. So this order is taking a little longer than I hoped because of that. It is kind of confusing to like keep up with what the algorithm is doing. Like I don't think that the algorithm on Instacart is really that well developed or advanced, because why would these orders even be grouped together? Like why, it's a 17-minute drive just to go a few miles from the first customer to the second customer, when this order could have been grouped with someone else's order that was already like going in the same direction. So I just think that's kind of weird. And I'm set to arrive at 4:37 to the second customer. I got the order at 3:44. So it took a lot longer than it should. So then that's taking an hour to make $32, which is really not that great. Especially like an order that's 2 shops and 11 items, 18 units should not take an hour, like in any way, shape, or form. So I was not counting on an hour for this order, that's for sure. It's still a good one. I'm happy I didn't have to continue sitting around. And yeah, now that it's getting a little bit more into dinner time, I think the food delivery orders for dinner time are gonna pick up. So I'll probably switch my focus to that after I drop this one off. So I just dropped off that second order. That order did end up taking 50 minutes. So it did take less than an hour. I thought before when I was looking at the time it was an hour. It was a little less, but still an order that size should not have taken that long. The drive between the 2 customers was not short. It was actually kind of long. Driving only for like less than 5 minutes just to get a little bit more back to like the central part of the zone I normally stay in. And I got this Sprouts order and I took it. The pay is a little bit low for this many units, honestly, but the reason why I took it is because this is at Sprouts, which is a smaller store, and it's at the location I know the best, so I have the best chance of getting it done faster, and it's a single customer only going 2 miles. So I'm like, I'm not going to let this one pass by. I'm going to take it, especially because it's a Tuesday. It's not a busy, super competitive day. And I'm only a 10 or 11 minute drive from the store. I am 8 minutes away now. And yeah, this store is my top 2 fastest stores that I know the best. So even though it is 80 units, which is a lot, it's nothing heavy. So I don't have to worry about like cases of water or anything, and a single customer. So I'm gonna see how fast I can get this done. I'm hoping for maybe hour and a half tops. We'll see if I'm eating my words after I get back in the car and see how long this takes. But Sprouts is really a small store, and I know this one so well that I think I'll be able to get this many units pretty quick. This one, single customer orders are just so nice in general too. Like, they are so much easier to do than the stacks. I'm not sure how late I'm gonna work tonight. I don't think I'm gonna work like late like I normally do, like 9 o'clock, but we'll see. We'll see if I keep this momentum up, because especially for a Tuesday, I've been doing really good. And because it's my first day back, maybe I'll change my mind and decide to just go hard and go more into the night and see how much I can do for this day. We're not all the way moved in, and there's still like, the new place is still kind of a disaster. So that's kind of annoying to have in the back of my mind. And I still have over a week till I have to be out of my old place. And the only stuff that's left there is kind of just like bits and pieces of items. So it's in the back of my mind that that does still need to get done in like the next week and a half. So I can't just go fully back to my normal working schedule as if there's not things that need to be done. I really want to capitalize on the busy times. So the weekends obviously is the best time to do DoorDash and all of these types of apps. Keeping that in mind, that on the less busy days, or when I'm not doing as well, that it's not worth it as much to kind of stay out when I have so many things that need to get done in like the next week or 2. I'll see how long this takes me, and this is a big order for one customer, but the good thing is I can just throw it all into one basket, and I still think I'm gonna get it done pretty quick. I think this is gonna be a solid order. And of course, one of the best parts about it was I only waited like 5 minutes to get another order. And especially on Instacart, that's kind of the most, like, one of the most negative things about the app is a lot of times you will wait a pretty long time to get a good order. So even if you get something amazing, if you sat for an hour, then your hourly pay could be like $50 an hour. But then if you sit for an hour and don't do anything and until you get your next batch, then it really knocks your hourly rate down to like 20s to 30s. So that was the best part about this order, I think, is just like leveraging the fact that I barely had to wait to get on to my next task. I couldn't let a 50 pass me by for a single customer. Just got this awesome order for Sprouts, and it's the same Sprouts location I'm already going to for Instacart. Really wish I could do it. This is an instant accept if I wasn't already on a task, but I'm not gonna make this person wait because I'd have to deliver this 1 second, so I'm not gonna do it. They'd have to wait for me to get done with that Instacart order, and that is not cool. So here's what the cart looked like when I was done shopping. It's pretty full, but not overflowing. And this was over 80 units and really not bad for how many items. And I did end up getting it done faster than I thought. Okay, this I think is officially the easiest 80 unit order I've ever done. It was nothing super heavy. There was only 1 case of sparkling water and 3 of those half gallons of oat milk. So nothing insane. And I am scheduled to arrive at their address at 5:44. I got the order at 4:42. So this is literally going to be a 1 hour order, maybe 1 hour, 5 minutes. It'll just take a couple quick minutes to drop it off. It's a house. I do believe I've had this customer, but I know I keep saying that, but like it keeps happening where it does give you the same people over and over. And I'm pretty sure I know who this customer is and I've been here before, but we'll see when I get there. They do have a 4-pack of non-alcoholic Guinness, and the app does make you still scan IDs even when people order like non-alcoholic wine or beers. So I will have to see the customer. So we'll see if I recognize him, because I'm pretty sure I recognize the address, and I'm pretty sure he also had non-alcoholic Guinness last time. That's why I think it's the same person. So we'll see, but I am so happy. I'm just like so fast at this Sprouts that 80 units, no problem. And the order was about $425, which means they tipped 10%. because it was about a $42 tip. So that means he's tipping 10%, which I am very, very grateful for. I'm so happy to get a $50 order that only took a little bit over an hour. So that was the customer that I thought it was. And I have dropped off to him this is probably my third time. And I'm very thankful because I think he does tip just like a flat 10% no matter what he orders. I really like going to Sprouts. Just the fact alone that the store is so much smaller than a lot of the other stores makes it so much easier to shop. Now I'm just looking around for where I'm gonna go next. There are better food orders coming in, but still nothing that I've taken yet. It's one $46 Instacart that I just saw, but it was a triple customer and it was going 10 miles all the way to Scottsdale, and I'm like, I'm definitely not doing that. See what happens, but just like usual, it does pick up right around this time for grocery orders and for food orders. So it is about 6 p.m. now, and we'll see if I can grab a good food order or if I just keep it up with Instacart. Dropped off that order to my repeat customer. I went back to Sprouts because I also kind of wanted some items for myself. So I was sitting there for probably only 10 minutes, and I was about to go in the store and buy my items, but a few of the things that I want are cold. So I was like, okay, so if I go in here now, I'm kind of committing myself to logging off after this, and I didn't know if I wanted to do that. And right when I was about to decide to go in the store and shop for myself, I got this amazing order. I guess we're just keeping up the momentum today on Instacart, which is so crazy that it's been this good on a Tuesday, which is normally just kind of like an off day. This order is awesome, and the interesting thing was it was actually batched separately, like it was batched differently, and I passed on it, and then it got rebatched, and now the order was way better, and I'm like, okay, now I'm taking that. Before was this PetSmart order, so it's a double store stack. So initially they stacked this PetSmart order with a fries order, so it was like 86 units total, like 40, I think it was around 40 items and 80 units for $46, and I passed on it. And then it got rebatched, and they batched this PetSmart order with a small Target order. So now it was a $50 order for 44 units. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's a little bit better. So that obviously means that the PetSmart order has a pretty good tip on it. And obviously in the case of that first batch, that fries order that was still pretty big had a bad tip. So it was mostly coming from the PetSmart order. And so we'll see what the breakdown is. It'll be interesting because this is PetSmart order, and then the Target order is pretty small. So I'm not really expecting much to come from that. That was really awesome because I passed on that. And then for it to get rebatched and be a way better offer, I'm so excited because this PetSmart order, I think there's 24 or 25 individual cans of cat food. That's why the unit count is super high, but the item count's low. I think it's 13 items and like 40 something units because there's like 20 individual cans of cat food. So, and those are so tiny. So I'm like, this is just an amazing order. I'm definitely going home after this. I still probably want to go to Sprouts. We'll see how long this takes. I'm pulling up to PetSmart right now, and hopefully, I think it's all pretty normal looking items. I didn't see anything on there that looked like hard to find, because I really don't know what's a reasonable expectation for this since I never do double stores. But let's see how long it takes me to shop this PetSmart order. Okay, so huge win on that order. That only took an hour and 5 minutes, especially for a double store. That is so amazing. I'm so grateful to get that order, and I am curious to see what the tip breakdown is. I think it was mostly coming from the PetSmart order, but I'll put it in after here. It is now 7:26, and I am just going to head home. I'm going to pick up some dinner and go home at a reasonable hour. I had such an amazing day today. I was over 200. I don't know exactly how much. We'll put the calculations all in here. And I'm so happy to have such a good day coming back from taking a long break, especially with all these moving costs. This was huge. I'm super excited. It is super windy. Hopefully you can still hear me, but the weather is perfect outside, so I had to put the top down while I still have the time. We're gonna go home and have a relaxing night. If you like watching gig work videos and just money tips in general, that's what I talk about here on this channel, so definitely subscribe and give the video a like for the algorithm. It really helps me out a lot, and I will see you in my next video.